right. And if you get one, you gotta phone it out. You can't bring any of the phone, nothing. Even if you got a
We won't have a budget committee next year.
I know.
Good afternoon, welcome to the Budget Committee meeting. I'm Jan Burdick, Chairman. We'll start with roll call, please.
Mrs. Burdick. Here. Mr. Barnes.
Present.
Mr. Curran.
Here.
Mr. Fanton.
Here.
Mr. LaForge.
Here.
Mr. Ricky.
Here.
And Mr. Stockin. 7 present, and we have a quorum.
Thank you. And can I have a motion for approval of the agenda, please?
I'll move it.
Stocking.
All in favor?
Aye.
And a motion to approve the minutes of October 15th, please.
Barnes.
I'll second it. And any corrections or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And now we have County Treasurer Terry Ross with our sales tax report. Good news, Terry?
Yeah, good news. We're still ahead about almost 4.5%, almost 4.6%. That equates to about $1.1 million that we're over where we were last year at this time. So happy to be going into the last month at this point and not be in the red. So we're good. We have about 4 payments probably that'll come in. So I don't doubt that we will hit our budget.
Great, good news. Anybody have any questions for Terry on the sales tax report?
Terry,
Yes.
how did last year go for the month of December?
Good. Last year we had, our 4 payments were almost 2, 3, 4, a little over $4 million in the last 4 payments. So,
Right,
yeah, we're crossing our fingers we're there again.
thank you.
You never know. You're welcome.
Anybody else have questions on that? Terry, do you want to say anything about the 2026 budget?
We're just ready for the public hearing tomorrow, and there's a couple clerical things that we'll have to bring forward to get corrected by the board from the tentative to the final, but we're ready to go.
Thank you. All right, any other questions?
Here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Yep, hang on.
Okay, thank you, Terry.
Okay, you're welcome.
I'm gonna go to unfinished business. And then new business, I am gonna ask County Administrator Chris Knapp to come up and give us, she just released her statement on the 2026 budget. I believe it just hit your email. So if you could just kind of give us a briefing of what you've put in there. Thank you.
So thank you. It's traditional for the budget officer to release a budget message when the tentative's filed. And you all have the budget message now. And as you probably have seen, we meet the tax cap. We're right at the cusp of it. The tax cap is not 2%, as some people refer to it. It is a tax cap formula, and right now we're at 2.22%. I do anticipate that we can be under that. We do, as Ms. Ross said, we do have a couple of adjustments that we do need to make. But we are very, very close to that. It is also under the constitutional tax limit. It's a pretty lengthy statement. I just kind of want to hit the highlights. I have it in front of me. We did increase our appropriations by $4.2 million. It's a tax levy increase of $691,110. And we're using $10.5 million in general fund balance to appropriate towards the budget. We are decreasing the rate per thousand by 52 cents. And that puts our tax rate per thousand at $12.25, which is, again, we're continuing that decrease. A lot of that does have to do with the overall levy. So just going through this a little bit more, you guys are still in good financial shape all the way around. Your fund balance, of all your unappropriated fund balances, even after using fund balance to appropriate towards this budget, you still have approximately $24 million in there. It is important that you do not use all of your fund balance. It is useful for many other things, including keeping a good financial statement for when you borrow. And if you are going to borrow, it sounds like you will have to build a DPW building, that bond will be about $37 million. You do want the best rate possible. I also noted that you have 2 bonds currently, one for the public safety complex, one for the courthouse addition. By keeping a good financial statement, you've been able to refund those bonds. Refunding a bond is like refinancing a mortgage, and you've saved significantly. You've saved $953,000 on the public safety facility through refunding those bonds, and $1.4 million on this courthouse addition. That's savings and interest that you don't have to pay because you were in a good financial statement position to refund those bonds. Our department head, we did ask our department heads to keep flat with their budgets. They weren't able to. I mean, we do have rising cost in personnel. That's one of our largest cost centers that's going up due to contractual wages. Health insurance went way up. Retirement went way up. Between health insurance and retirement, there was a $1.7 million increase. And there's also inflation in the things that we buy. So we did end up having to cut $12 million from where our department had started. We did not, the budget officers did not eliminate any positions of other departments. We did not cut any services. We were able to find money in some of the extra things within each department. If any positions were cut or any services were cut, those were department decisions that they offered up to us. But all in all, I feel like we did present a good tentative budget. I think you do have something good that you can work with. There may be some extra things that you want to add back in, and those are conversations you can have about amending the budget and whether or not you want to go over the cap that you can still have. But for right now, you do have a good framework that stays at the tax cap. I did put in a note here about our top 7 mandated cost centers, and those include Medicaid, the safety net. I do have a typo there. I got to go fix that. Child welfare, special education, pre-K, indigent defense, and probation. Those combined with retirement, that's $26.8 million, and we receive only $7.6 in federal or state aid to go against that. We can't cut those costs. So that's where it's a challenge to stay at the cap, under the cap, and make cuts when you can't cut those mandated services. Looking forward to the budget hearing tomorrow night, and I'm just willing to answer any of your questions. And very, very thankful to have Terry. This is her last year as the deputy budget officer. She's done a great job working on this. I know we've had Jenna's help as well, and my office staff has helped too. So thank you.
Does anybody have any questions? Mr. Barnes?
So, the recommended budget that is being submitted, how much higher is that than it was last year, percentage-wise?
Percentage-wise, I have, it's 4.2 million more in appropriations. Percentage, I don't know, Terry, do you have the percentages up over there?
Anyway, it's 4.2%.
Yeah.
And so the tax rate per thousand is compared to last year.
Is dropping. It will drop naturally because you're staying under that cap overall. So
Explain that, how that works.
it has a lot to do with the levy, and I'm actually going to defer to Terry to explain that.
The tax rate per thousand has a lot to do with the assessment. So the assessment for Allegheny County, countywide, the taxable value for Allegheny County increased from 2.432, okay, I'm gonna get this wrong. It increased, it's gonna throw me off here.
It's Terry's.
It increased 160, almost $161 million is the increase in assessed value. So that has a lot to do with the decrease in your tax rate. Your tax rate decreased 4%, but although your levy went up 2.2%. So it's a little bit of a math game on your calculation because of the increase in taxable value. And you remember we had several towns increase their assessment. We all know Wellsville being the biggest. There was a big hit with that. We also had the decrease in the Cuba assessed value, but between the two of them, it netted out that we still were $100 million over what we had for taxable value last year. Had Cuba I think Cuba's loss was about 200 million. And so with Wellsville having their assessments revealed, and there were a couple other towns as well, we netted still 100 million to the increase. Does that make sense, Gary?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, last week, we had several complaints about exceeding the 2%, et cetera, et cetera. My understanding is that we are not exceeding the 2%, so that we should have no objections from, at least at this point, from what they were complaining about.
We
Well,
think the budget
ahead.
officer's responsibility is to stay under the tax cap. So no matter what, I think the tentative budget needs to stay under the tax cap. There might be some department heads that think we cut too much. They would come back to you, and as a board, you would determine whether or not you need those extra appropriations in those budgets. If you were to add those back in, you will definitely have to exceed the tax cap, though. Well, that still could be an option for you. This is the part where the board gets to make the really hard decisions.
But based on the submitted budget as of right now, that we're talking about tomorrow, we're under the tax cap.
Correct, and if you don't pass a final budget, the tentative budget becomes the final budget.
Thank you.
Gary, to clarify that, I'd be remiss if I didn't really clarify that, because right now we are $10,000 over the cap. So we believe that there's a couple clerical errors in there that need to be fixed that bring it under the cap, but we are $10,000. When I did the official form yesterday for the tax cap, I have not submitted that to the state yet because there's still changes that will be made, but we are $10,000 close to the cap, so.
So the budget officers will be presenting some amendments to fix those
fix
clerical
that,
errors
yeah.
that we will be under the cap, so.
Thank you.
Thank you. Out of concerns and a need for an abundance of caution, I'd like to see us go back to what we did when I first came on the board. All we did was delay some of the hirings, and I can't remember now, but we tried to put them off for a certain point of time, which saved us money. We didn't eliminate those positions or anything. We just tried to be as responsible as we could be and delay in filling them. And I think it'd be maybe appropriate if we look at a few things like that. Thank you.
Any other comments?
I would just note that Terry was reading some numbers, if you were watching her, she had a copy of the tentative budget up there. If you pull up your tentative budgets, the very first sheet that has numbers on it is the budget summary, and that's what she was reading from. So if you or any of the public is trying to figure out what the summary is, that's what Terry was looking at.
Yes.
Just to make it clear too, as far as positions that aren't filled, are they funded in the budget? Are those ones that we can look at to?
Some are. We did not do a good scrub of the positions. So some departments did put in vacant positions as funded, and I believe we left most of those there. Some departments might not have. They might have just decided to wait.
It just looks like an area, if we haven't filled them in, that it's not an emergency to fill, that might be a place to look to.
I do want to thank all the department heads. They did a great job providing us information and answering questions. And any of them, they've all seen a copy of their tentative. I just directed them back. If they have any questions or concerns, talk to Terry and I first, because there could be some clerical errors that we could fix. But you may be hearing from some as well.
Mr. Barnes?
Going back to the bonds, when are the current bonds being, when do they get paid off?
Oh, that is a schedule at the very end of your budget. One is in 2029 and the other's 2030.
Yeah. The public safety bond rolls off on September 15th, 2029. And the courthouse bond expires November 10th, 2033.
Thank you.
When we refinanced them or refunded them, you can't change the maturity date, but you can change the rate of interest during a refunding. So we did that,
And
but
you can only refund so often.
yeah, every 5 years or something, you look at them.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments about the budget? Just again, a reminder, tomorrow night at
Seven.
7 is our public hearing for the 2026 budget, and we hope we have several people here to participate. So, thank you. Thank you, Krista. Appreciate it. Do we have anything else to talk about today? I will request a motion for adjournment.
Rick, you move.